X-Pac 12360, featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to X-Pac 12360. I'm your host. You know me. X to the P to the A to the C.
Wow.
How's it going, Jimbo?
He's got
Great, man. I love
Cypher vibes.
I know, right?
flow right
I
there.
was
I hear some
flowing.
more.
I got bars. I got bars.
Very smooth.
From here to Mars. Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
What are you laughing at over there?
Please
She's in awe
cut
of
that
her.
part. That has to be on your Instagram.
All right. Welcome to X-Pac 12360, everyone. A little bit later in the show, we were going to have John Morrison and Taya come in, but now they're coming in next week. But last minute, my Wolfpack brother Kevin Nash told me he'd join us later on.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to. I haven't asked him to come on the show yet in over a year, so this is his first time.
Pretty decent replacement. I think.
Yeah, not bad, right? I always keep them in my back pocket. That's why I don't actually schedule them as guests.
Yeah.
For, in case you need them.
Just
So,
need to pull that card.
yeah. Anyways, sitting next to Jimbo, I gotta do this obligatory. Go through the motions here. Denise Salcedo.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Yeah. Bill Henstock is back.
What's up, everybody? I'm back.
Yeah, you are, and we're happy to have you back, Bill.
Thank
At
you.
least I am. I can't speak for the rest of them. They were happy you were gone.
Ooh, just kidding.
They feel like they got more screen time,
Yeah,
and
they were
more
plotting.
talking time.
Denise is like sliding up towards the desk.
Right?
I'm secretly booing you. No, just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to have you back, Bill.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And the lovely TK Trinidad.
Hey.
Hi
That
there.
is a snazzy shirt you wear.
Thank
I really
you.
like that shirt.
Thank you very much.
I need to be like TK and have a new hairstyle every week.
Well,
I know, right?
You
Or,
could.
or hair.
Yeah, you could easily.
Either
do
way.
it.
Yeah.
kind of expensive, but we can
Hey,
get you hooked up.
Yeah.
Before I can't forget this because it's just impossible for me to. So I want to talk about it right now. The world, not just the comedy world, but the world lost one hell of a human being in Ralphie May, and he was a huge wrestling fan, and he was a friend of mine, and he was a friend of a lot of people, and there's a lot of people out there hurting, and I love you, Ralphie, and thank you for making everyone laugh, and thank you for being just one of the best human beings I've ever met. This guy,
Sweet spirit.
yes, he did things for people that he didn't want a pat on the back for. He did it anonymously. A lot of things he did people knew about as well. But anyways, I don't want to get in the weeds on that. Get into the weeds. Ralphie loved his weed. Got arrested in Guam, coming into Guam.
So
Yeah.
Like
Anyways,
from the U.S. going into Guam.
I was either in or out. I can't remember which it was, but I just know he got arrested.
Did you guys have the story?
Oh,
Told us
yeah.
The story?
Oh, yeah.
You want to share it with us?
No, I mean it's all. But anyways, we love you, Ralphie.
If you don't know his, definitely go on Netflix. All his specials are there, even on HBO. He's an amazing comedian.
Yeah.
Such a sweetheart. He just treated everybody equally. That's what I really
did.
loved about him.
He did, and so let's just talk about a little bit of news. And what was it? Hell in a Cell was this week.
Yep. That's
right.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Oh, before we talk about that, TK, I had a really good weekend. I went out and wrestled for Big Time Wrestling.
Yes.
For Kirk White's promotion. Chris Masters, aka Chris Adonis, was there. Got to spend some time with him. And really, really grateful I got to spend some quality time with Bret Hart. And I hadn't seen his son Dallas in a while. So we spent a lot of time after the first show standing outside, shooting the breeze, and talking about old stories involving Owen and just a lot of really cool stuff. And can't even tell you how grateful I am to be able to spend time with Bret or people like that I know that you just don't see enough. So, and he seemed to be in good spirits, and And I know like some people go, oh, Click don't like. See, the Click is 5 separate people with 5 separate minds, that think independently, and I love Bret.
That's something we talked about on our on the With Spandex podcast. You actually modeled your gear after Bret Hart.
I did.
Because you were such a fan of him when you were getting into the business.
Yes, well, him just it was the Calgary influence. Like if you go and look at Owen stuff, Bruce Hart, all those guys, they all wore the 3-piece, tights, trunks, singlet ensemble, and that's what suited my physique the best. So. Anyway,
I hope you keep Brett in your back pocket for situations.
I thought about it, but I just know he got kind of soured on doing these after he did them. It was said after one of his interviews, oh, he's negative, he's bitter, and I can understand how people might think that when they hear him sometimes. But
I think he talked about how he felt like Seth Rollins was a little bit reckless, and people picked up on the story, and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, sure. Because you know how this is.
Yeah.
You guys know as good as anyone, like what, clickbait.
Pulled out.
Yeah, it can be bullshit sometimes. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mind saying it right on here. And maybe we've done a little of that ourselves. I don't know. Maybe.
Try and steer away from that.
Yeah. But I mean, not, try to, right?
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, we're better than everyone else. We have the moral high ground. Whatever. Anyways, hey, so TK.
Hell in the Cell.
Hell in the Cell. Anything before that? Any news you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, there's a rumor. Are we not getting there? Okay, cool.
Do I hit the news cue?
That's if you want. Cool.
1, 2, 3, 60 wrestling news.
Oh.
Yeah.
So just a rumor. WWE superstar is rumored to be leaving the organization. So according to Pro Wrestling Sheets, they're reporting that Neville asked for release after it, and that's why he didn't show up on WWE that night. But it hasn't been confirmed or denied by WWE. So that's kind of the rumor with that.
So I want to tread lightly on exactly what I say about this because I don't know the details. What do you guys know?
What I read is that he didn't want to lose to Enzo again, so he just left Raw, and that's why Kalisto got put in the title match and won the title.
Yeah.
That's what I read.
And I heard that it was still supposed to be Kalisto, though, for that match on
Which
Raw.
would make sense, because he's
and
not
they were
allowed to
saving
fight
Neville.
Neville because the whole Cruiserweight
But
stipulation.
in the storyline, it looked like Enzo wasn't going to hold on to the belt for a very long time anyway.
No.
So it felt like even Kalisto had it, obviously.
It's a transition back to somebody else.
Exactly.
Now that Kalisto has it, all the other Cruiserweights can go for it, as well before it was just Enzo and who else.
Right. So, I
think they should have left it on Enzo a little longer.
Yeah.
I do. I think contrary to what a lot of people were thinking when they put the championship on him, he's done very well with it. I think.
I think more people are watching it.
I think so, 100%. And has there ever been a Cruiserweight title match in the main event of Raw? Ever. All right then. So as many things as but some people might not like about Enzo, let's try and just give credit where it's due also.
So could it be the reason that he didn't hold it for a very long time is because of the locker room, two of the Cruiserweights had an issue with it, or is it just more?
I don't know. That I would only be speculating on. It could be some of that. It could be that was just their plans and they wanted to stick to it because sometimes that's what happens. Mm-hmm. It happened with Superstar Graham and Bob Backlund many years ago. That was the plan, and even though the plan should have changed, it didn't. But regarding Neville walking out, and Stone Cold would tell you this, he did something similar when he did, and I talked to Neville a few months back, and he expressed his discontent with how things were going. He seemed very, very, very frustrated, and it was hard to blame him. It can happen real easy around there.
So is it frustration because of the stories, or he was
When
getting
you're
put over?
look, you can be making money, you can be paying the bills just fine, and everything going fine. But if you love if you love this job, this not a job. If you love doing this, going out there and performing, and it means as much to you as it does to somebody like Neville, creative satisfaction is right up there, importance-wise, with the money. Whether it should be or not, it is. And it can drive you nuts, insane, when you're creatively frustrated like that, when you're not being used properly.
And I think we've heard this story, a few times, obviously in different methods and different ways, but we've heard it, like, for example, Austin Aries, CM Punk, so many different people that, it's a build-up of little things that eventually kind of just unravels. Because that's when I was thinking, when they were saying, like, oh, he didn't want to lose to Enzo. I was like, it couldn't just be that one thing. That might have been that one thing that drove him, made his final decision. But it had to be a build of a bunch of little things. So if this is true, if he did leave and it does get confirmed, some has to wonder, like, you can't necessarily, I guess, completely blame Neville for wanting a little bit more, No,
you can't blame him for wanting all that, but I will say this, and I would tell him as well, and I love the guy. He's a super guy. He made the wrong decision. He reacted instead of taking this time and wait until cooler heads prevail on something like that. When you leave, that's fine. You want your release, and all that. Ask for it. Do everything, but don't walk out, because once you do that, number one, they're gonna take their sweet ass time giving you your release, and they're not gonna make it easy for you, number one. And number two, when you walk off like that, they automatically win.
Yeah.
You lose. You lose. When you're gone, you can't effectively change anything when you're not there,
Well, from a wrestler's perspective, for most of a year, ever since Neville came back from his injury and got put into that cruiserweight division, became the king of the cruiserweights, it seemed like he was, there's been a lot of conversation about the cruiserweight division, how they've handled 205 Live and everything.
Yeah.
But from the moment he came back, he felt like a big deal, and they built that whole division, that whole show around him.
Yes.
And he was the focal point of it. What's the mindset of, like, still being frustrated with your role when it's like you hold the title for months on end and everything on that show's about you?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
Have you had situations like that happen where it's like you're getting a lot of TV time, you've got a title, you got a good storyline, things are focused on you, but you're still not happy with how it's going?
Or you're happy now and you think that, you have this momentum now, and now they're pulling the rug out from under you. And then all of a sudden you go from being happy to bam, like that, flip a switch, and you got the devil horns out, and or the bull horns, and you're pissed.
So as far as creative, how many people actually can go back to creative and say, can we change this? Like, how many people have that carte blanche, aside from maybe Cena? Like, could
Jericho, maybe?
Could Neville?
Well, anyone can go up and
voice their
say anything, and it depends on how you do it. And depending on who you say it to, like, some people could take it the wrong way and use it against you. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. Oh, so-and-so got a bad attitude because he questioned something, So, all I'm saying to people is I think it's okay to question and things like that. It's just, first of all, know how to do it correctly. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't back then. It always came out sideways when it came out of my mouth back then. Yeah. But, that, I just lost my train of thought. I just had to use this
in one of Jericho's books, he talks about how he and most other people felt like they could go to Vince if they felt like they had a better idea and they could fight for it.
Yeah.
But Vince's comeback to that is, don't just bring me one idea. Like, if you've got something to pitch me, don't just have one thing to pitch me. Have three better ideas to give me.
Yes.
I feel like actually, Bill, what you brought up, the fact that he had the bout, he was the focal point, etc. I almost feel like it brings up this whole subcategory of argument that people can argue that there is a certain stigma to the cruiserweight division that maybe isn't, it should be here, but maybe it's not there yet with the fans and with everybody. So I kind of feel like, yeah, he was the focal point, yeah, he was champion, but to him, he knew that. Again, it still had that stigma to where it didn't make it to that next level. And I feel like that's like a whole other argument within itself. But I don't know if that could be kind of a, maybe he wanted to branch out. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I know he got offered a Bullet Club shirt. As soon as all this started coming up, the Young Bucks tweeted him instantly.
Oh, boy.
Bullet Club shirts. So he'll be
I just
fine.
really think that the way that was done, if he's trying to leave, it's not going to happen anytime soon. That sucks. That's because next thing you know, all of a sudden your money's getting messed with, and how you pay the bills, and so just
And it's all speculation.
Yeah.
It hasn't been confirmed. So it hasn't been confirmed that he walked off from the episode of Raw. So none of that's been confirmed. It's just speculation that he wants his release. But
yeah. And this is me, like people go, have you heard this or that? I purposely don't call asking and snooping for information.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that ever. So, yeah, it's not happening.
although there's one thing that you got asked for confirmation for today.
What's that?
Wrestling personality. He shows his
Privates
to the audience.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we skip that? Why don't we talk about Hell in a Cell?
All right, yeah, let's talk about Hell in a Cell.
All right, we'll look at the
That
story. It's up there.
Usos tag match.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. The
Maybe
tag team
one of
match.
the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was
I love
tremendous.
So the
everything.
Usos and New Day.
I loved everything about it. All the innovative ways to use the different kendo sticks and prison barring him in the corner.
That was
I
awesome.
love that match.
Yeah.
All the crazy spots, so good.
Did you see the pictures that Xavier put out of all his whip marks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I'd be in heaven if they did that to me. I love that shit.
Really?
Be
Yeah.
having it, they whip you?
Yeah, with the
Okay.
kendo stick. Yeah, I was like, they did that to me in Mexico, and
Your
they tied.
face?
They,
With Zorro, right?
yeah, I still have marks on my back from that.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
the tip came off of it, and it started ripping my skin, on the back of my shoulder.
Thanks.
Yeah, and so I told him, I said, well, if I tell you more, that means hit me harder, So the crowd was so loud, and I was trying to tell him the tip was ripping my skin, and he thought I kept saying harder, harder, and he's just killing me with it. Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was
These two teams
excellent.
just completely bring out the best in each other, and the Usos right now, they're untouchable.
And
they're the best.
And let's think
tag team.
about where they were a year ago.
Yeah. Just
Both of them just out of gas, right?
I've always said the Usos, when they first debuted in WWE a decade ago, their first promo with Tamina where they're like, we're in your colleges taking your jobs. That was I still talk about that. I thought when they premiered with that promo and they were saying things that no one's ever said in wrestling before, I was like, these guys are incredible. But then they got turned into baby faces, and they just did the leading the crowd in chants and just jumping around and having a good time. And they were so boring. And the instant they got a chance to show off their actual personalities, completely a revelation.
And do you think that's because, the New Day act hasn't changed any, really? So, was it just this thing that freshened everything up for everyone?
I think so.
I think it's because,
They didn't lose any, I'm sorry, Denise.
Oh, no, it's okay.
New Day didn't lose any popularity. It's just what were we going to do with them at a certain point? You just figured kind of end of the road. What? Okay, now what?
Yeah, we've seen this act.
Yeah.
They come out, they throw the cereal, they say, New Day rocks, everyone claps.
And
One
all
of the
the
two
hip
win.
swivel is always good too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
can't deny that.
And I'm a big fan of both these guys. So both these teams. So I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, oh wow, such a good act, and it just seems like I don't know if "jump the shark" is the right word to use, or the right term to use. Maybe not here, but something like that. I just didn't know what else we could do with New Day.
I see what you're saying.
But
Definitely.
there's plenty more to do.
sure.
It's just you got to use your brain. Can't go back to the same old. Hey, let's do the old. You know,
it just takes a good iron sharpens iron. You know, it takes a good opponent to take you to another level.
Yeah. So, and what else on Hell in a Cell?
Definitely the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did honestly, as great as the show was, there's only like 3 matches that really stood out to me. Nothing against any of the other ones, and it may be just because I was tired, while I was watching. But so the main event.
Wow.
How did you think Shane and Kevin were compared to you and Shane?
I wouldn't compare us at all. I wouldn't compare it at all. Kevin is a heel, and Shane's a babyface. When I worked with Shane, he was a heel. So that being said, it was as good as I figured it would be. I mean, like I said, when I realized they were going to have this match, I was like, they're going to make sure it's a hell of a match. There's not going to be anything left to chance. Like, it's guaranteed going to be a hell of a match. And it was, right?
It's an amazing match.
For something I really wasn't too invested in, I was on the edge of my seat for this entire match, and I loved every minute of it.
Especially when Kevin came to the end and he kind of did the cross sign. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, is he... Obviously, he's a professional, but I almost thought, okay, he might actually really get hurt. Like, I don't know if he's done this before type thing. So, like, all that, the suspense was definitely there for that event.
I loved all the jaw-janking with his kids in the front row, climbing the cage. Everything they did on top of the cell, I was like waiting for it to break. I was hoping it wouldn't. Thank God it didn't. But I was just, are they going to go through the top? Are they pile drivers and suplexes? It was insane. I
read somebody mention this, and it's something that stood out to me during the entrances, or before the match got underway, was when Kevin Owens came out and he was walking around ringside. Shane's kids weren't very. They were just like smiling. No, it was after the match already started, and he was kicking Shane's ass. And like the kids, smarting the kids up. Hey, you gotta work with us here. Don't look so happy when your dad's getting his ass beat.
There was a moment captured right as Sami Zayn was pulling Kevin Owens off the table where you could see one of Shane's kids flipping Sami off.
Yeah.
So that sort of made the rounds, and I think that evened it out. But I agree with you. Smarten him up.
Anyone see the Sami Zayn thing coming?
I didn't actually.
That was, yeah.
How is it he was down at ringside? Did he just magically appear?
We actually did a post on it. One of our writers did come through a bunch of fan footage to figure out how he got in there, and he just came in through the crowd at one point through the timekeepers area.
Yeah.
It was weird because when I was watching it live, they cut to the wide shot, and Shane's on top of the cage, and Kevin is on the table. And when they cut to that wide shot, I immediately saw Sami on the ground.
Yeah.
And I just was staring at him. I was like, is that Sami Zayn? What's happening? And then, like, it happened, and everyone was like, I didn't even see him. And it was, I thought it was funny because that was the only thing I was paying attention to.
No, so tell me what you guys think about that part of it. About the Sami Zayn, how they did it and everything.
He explained it last night, and it was one of the best promos, and it was awesome. I loved it so much. And when you look at all the angles of the drop, like him pulling him out of the way, like such good timing. Like it worked out really well.
I think that was like the promo that he did is almost almost a biblical thing where it's somewhere in the Bible where they're brothers. I forgot.
Cain and Abel?
Yeah, I think it was almost on that level where it's like no matter what you do, you're still my brother type thing. So that's kind of, I love the promo. It made sense after he explained everything. But yeah, definitely that was a good
crazy thing. About, I don't know, it might have been about 6 months ago, maybe not that long ago, but I was like, they're really not doing that much with Sami Zayn, and it's a crying shame because he's one of the best talents they have, and so I was like, you know what, I got on my phone late at night and texted Hunter, and I'm like, you guys should turn Sami Zayn heel. You would not believe how he shit on that idea. I mean, you'd have thought I was a complete moron for frickin' suggesting something like that. So, anyways.
So you're saying that it was your idea? You take your credit for it.
Unless somebody else has yeah.
You put it in the universe.
No, I will actually say that. Yes.
Nice.
So are you happy with the way it was done? Is this where you were?
From what I saw, it was done. That was a lot of, like, I don't know. I think it was done nicely. It definitely wasn't the old heel turn, right?
Yeah. Well, because everyone was sort of speculating, like, oh, is Stephanie going to show up to help, Kevin, and there'll be a new McMahon in power, or, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen?
Yeah.
And then there were also the rumors that the reason they made it Falls Count Anywhere is so they could pre-tape something backstage with a stuntman, so Shane wouldn't have to almost kill himself, and make it safe, and then have the finish backstage. And none of that happened. So it's nice. It's always nice. It's always nice when wrestling really surprises you.
Oh, I can't wait to. I can just see the comments now. Oh, X-Pac thinks, oh, you so full of shit. It's his idea. I could really care less. Cause I think I might even showed you the text.
Well,
no,
it was before a show. It was before we started taping a show. You brought it up and you talked about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that. So it's crazy.
So do you think it's going to be like a tag team thing, or do you think Kevin's going to just push Sami Zayn to kind of getting a championship of some sort?
I don't know. Well, we'll see, right?
Rumor is we do have Survivor Series coming up, and rumor is that we're going to get a Team Kevin versus Team Shane, authority versus anti-authority sort of a thing, which I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I would too.
Mean Street Posse.
Yeah. So awesome. Pete Gas.
Pete Gas is
Joey
a
Abs.
guy.
Good. Pete Gas is
He's a
real good.
good dude.
Yeah.
Really super good guy. Yeah.
Who parties the hardest out of Rodney, Joey Abs, and Pete Gas?
Probably Joey Abs, because he wasn't really one of the.
He was
just a wrestler.
Yeah, he was like from the Hardy clique.
Oh, the Omega.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, everyone. So that's our Hell in a Cell coverage for today.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Kevin Nash.
What's up, party people? Roxy Stryer here from The Tomorrow Show with Kevin Undergaro. We're your twice-weekly broadcast of one man's midlife crisis and the mad millennials in Star Trek uniforms that follow him. And I'm one of those millennials, Lauren LaGrasso here. We've had some amazing guests like Russell Simmons, Ileana Douglas, and Craig Gass. Coolio, right?
Christian Blatt in the house to tell you to go to thetomorrowshow.com to check us out. We're live every Monday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern. That's thetomorrowshow.com. Be there or be square, whatever that means.
Welcome back to X-Pac 12360 on the phone right now. It's Kevin Nash. Make some noise. That's my Eric Andre style intro. You ever watch Eric Andre, Kev?
I was curious what that was there. Then.
Yeah.
I thought we were going right into the weather.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Good.
You already told me off, like when we were talking off air. Full disclosure. No. Hey man, hey, I'm sorry I missed you guys this past weekend. I had 2 matches up in San Jose while you guys were here in LA.
They were
when we got in that week, because that's what Julie said that you were up in wrestling. I said, because we're going to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
He said, no. He said he's wrestling. I said, shit, man.
Shit, man. Yeah, no, I had 2 matches up there for Kirk White. You remember when we had that tag match up there?
Yeah.
The same weekend Mach died? That was fun.
Yeah.
I was there for that.
Were you?
Yeah,
Jimbo
in the
was
crowd,
there.
and you did the elbow
Did you
drop.
still
from
run
Macho.
that like Hungarian, whatever it is, like that little kind of armory type Armenian or whatever? Is that where you run?
No, we ran some kind of an armory thing, and then it was 2 different towns, but they were good crowds. One of them was their 20th anniversary.
Always draws.
Yeah. Sempin was there. Raul Sempin was there.
Sweet.
Bret the Hitman
Well,
Hart.
him and something they're like boys.
Yeah.
Kurt and something. Kurt does all simple stuff.
So how was the appearance at Frankenson's, Kev?
Good. I mean, we signed the whole time. You know? We were busy.
Yeah.
It kind of sucked because they had us come in.
Yeah.
And they had us do like all the piecework first. So we're upstairs signing the piecework, and we come out. Like I saw a couple of posts, or like, because I said thanks for your patience, and I meant it like thanks for your patience for waiting in line for 3 hours to get an autograph. And the one person said, yeah, you're a fucking hour late. I'm like, I wasn't an hour late. I was upstairs signing.
Why didn't they just have you sign with the people?
I think they wanted, I think
that's part of the experience.
to get, but no, I think they wanted us to get that. There was a new picture of Scott and I that I'd never seen before, and they had a bunch of those like 17 by 24s, and so they wanted to get all that shit, but they wanted to get their stuff signed.
Yeah. So we're gonna
make back their money.
Yeah, we're on not this weekend, but next one after that, the 21st. We're gonna be in PA together, huh? All of us.
But Harrisburg, home of Jerry McDevitt.
Is that really Jerry's home? Oh, people are going.
Yeah, so McDevitt's law firm's out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Or used to be.
You will be together in Oklahoma this weekend, and then
Kev, you're going to be in Oklahoma.
Are you in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
See you in Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm in OKC.
I'll be damned, man. How come I didn't know that? We need to get we need to get our notes. We need to compare notes. Anyways.
Both of us. I mean, it's a win if I function for today. So
yeah. Hey, Kev, you know what? I saw a picture of you and Scott from this weekend. You look freaking great, man. You look amazing. Man. You were just saying that you were doing legs. No, you were doing shoulders with 405 on some kind of plate loading machine, huh?
No. I've been taking it easy. I just do. I did chest. I mean, I've really never. My shoulders grow so fast that I end up doing just chest for front delts and back for rear, and then I just do some laterals here and there just to kind of. But my shoulders grow so bad now. My shoulders will dwarf my body if I train them.
They are monster. The cannonball delts, man.
Genetics.
That sounds like a new wrestler name. Cannonball Delts.
Yeah. Cannonball Delts.
Hey, you guys want to jump in here and ask some questions? Because I could sit here and do inside baseball talk with Kev for an hour, and you guys would be going, huh?
Well, Kevin, so this is Denise, by the way. Hey, in TNA, you worked with a lot of younger guys that are now having massive success here in the WWE. Did you always see the star potential in some of them like AJ, Eric Young, Rude?
Yeah, I think I was instrumental in actually like teaching them just how to actually just chain wrestle. No, I mean, there was so much talent there. There really was a ton of talent. It reminded me a lot of when we all came to WCW, and there was that incredible amount of, and they had like Eddie and Dragon and Benoit, and like just that incredible amount of Keven, Ray, and they had so much young, good talent. And it was still, and we had that nucleus of older veteran guys to hold them down, because that's what you do.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just your job.
Yeah.
And I always thought Joe was special, and then immediately when he got to NXT, I thought that he would be like the perfect opponent for Brock. That he would be that'd be a real good matchup for Lesnar.
If we're gonna
ended up being a good work, but Rude was there. I mean, Rude was always real solid. It was surprising it took him so long to get into the fold at WWE.
Go ahead.
If we're going to start out by talking about Impact and TNA, you were part of one of my favorite things in recent wrestling history, the paparazzi. And I have to ask you this, because this has been a source of debate between me and my friends for some time now. How is Alex Shelley not the biggest wrestling star in the entire world right now?
Oh no! I mean, he can do everything. I mean, he's an incredible hand. He's funny. He's spontaneous. He's got all the. I don't know.
I can see Alex Shelley involved in that stuff with what do you call those guys?
Yeah,
Breezango.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
Kev, you see any of that stuff? You like that stuff?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think it doesn't feel like it's written by anybody.
Yeah.
It feels like they're kind of doing because to me it's like you can. I don't know, man. It's just there's just not enough spontaneity to their stuff always seems so overwritten and overproduced.
Yeah.
You know, but not their guy. You know, they seem to get kind of have a little bit more free reign.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask before let's jump back to TNA real quick. You and Eric Young would tag against Generation Me, the Young Bucks, and Matt Jackson tells a story about the house show loop that you guys would wrestle on and this big boot that you would never connect with. I was wondering if you could tell that story.
Was it the one I missed? So they could
you would never connect with this big boot for the finish, and Matt thought he was screwing it up.
No, I'm not stiff. I know how to work.
Did you?
I tell him, I said, get your hand up there. No, I didn't want to kick those guys. I don't want to kick those guys. I think they're real talented, and the thing is too is they get it. Like they know how to just irk people, and you know, they're little heat-seeking magnets.
See, Kev gets it. Kev gets their deal. Hey, Kev, might as well bring this up. What do you think of the whole cease and desist and on those guys using, the wolf sign and our stuff basically?
I've always said, it's I saw your T-shirt. Like Julie had your T-shirt on this weekend. The Weed World Order.
New Weed Order, yeah.
Yeah, New Weed Order. I popped on that. It's to me, it's just like anything that we created that.
Right.
That was, and in essence, you created that. I mean, that's your hand signal. You're the one that came in and told the rest of us the story of, I saw this at the bar. It was the Turkish wolf, blah, blah, blah. So you're the one, if anybody should get credit for that hand gesture, that hand signal, it's you. Because you showed it to the clique, and then we adapted it as our inside hand gesture. So if they want to call it too sweet, that's fine, whatever they want. Yeah. But to me, it's just really, so I don't know. I'm sure somebody threw the peace sign up for the first time. What, you're gonna get intellectual fucking rights on that?
I honestly don't think that they would have heard anything about it if they wouldn't have done their invasion thing.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It's just. I
thought that was great.
It keeps us alive.
Yes. That's what I said last week when we talked about this. I'm like, people should try to look at it from the other point of view too, to where now there's a whole new generation of young people that know about us and at least their fan base that might not have cared about us. I just think that they made it fresh again. I think they helped too. I kind of dig that.
Yeah, no, it's to me, it's like, if you're a member of the Rolling Stones, and Pearl Jam wants to cover, Satisfaction, I don't think I got a problem with it.
Right.
That's a great analogy.
It's like, it'd be one thing if the guys are jabrones. These are the young, talented guys that are basically emulating things that you did.
Yeah.
Whether it be Big Cass wearing the Tyson T-shirt down, and it's just guys that are looking back at shit that worked and saying, well, that worked for them. Let me try it.
Everyone, so many people do that Tyson thing with the cutting the shirt. That was you, the first person I ever see do that, and people didn't, and now everyone does it. It's pretty sweet.
But in essence, I stole it from
Tyson. Yeah, he would do it with his towels.
So it's like anything else. It's like, please show me an original idea. I'm sorry, but I think since Edison and that group's dead, I think everything else is pretty much just a rehash.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And I don't think those guys. It's something else I've said already too. I don't think those guys. Doing our stuff isn't what makes them great. Sure they did it, or they do it or whatever, and people dig it. But I think they could get over without it. Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
I mean, as well as so Austin, if you flip somebody off, and you're going against Steve Austin's trademark. I know for a fact that the first person that ever flipped anybody off on a WWE program was me flipping Undertaker off at Royal Rumble after I fucked him with Brett.
Oh yeah. I wasn't there for that.
I was the first one to ever flip anybody off on their TV.
Yeah. I missed that Royal Rumble because do you remember when we did that mock Royal Rumble at the Garden and I did you and I did the spinning head scissors spot and I ended up like twerking my knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. And I missed the Rumble.
Because you had a bad knee?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Garden was a better payday.
Well, speaking of the Rumble in 2011 when you came out, were you expecting such a huge pop? What was that feeling like for you?
Well, I mean, I knew, because I dyed my hair, and because I had, and I put, as I said, once I put this glove on, it's downhill. So, but I didn't expect that much of a, but at the same time, I mean, I was gray-headed and on TNA a week before, so it was. I think it was a good. It's one of those ones that was a good shock because, it's just I don't think people thought that I was gonna. They did a good job of keeping it where there was no rumor of me coming back, but I just wish that at that point I think it was. McIntyre and Sheamus were on me, and the places they're cutting me off, and and Sheamus is they're both just laying the wood to me.
Nobody fed you.
And the people are chanting Diesel. I'm thinking so I guess these guys don't realize right now you're supposed to kind of
feed.
Give me a little feed here.
Yeah.
Okay, get your shit in, guys.
Yeah. Come on, man.
So what do you do in a situation like that?
I'm sorry?
What do you do in a situation like that? You just keep
Start
it going,
calling
or you
shit.
just let them know, this is where I take over?
To me, at this point in my life, it's just fuck it. I'm not a long time ago, I wrestled against, I think it was Creed or something like that in TNA, and I came back, and Terry Taylor said, I think you gave him too much. And I said, don't you think I fucking had mine?
Everyone is. How many
that
times
would be
is
Xavier Woods for people who don't know Austin Creed?
How many times has somebody said that to you or Scott? I think you gave him too much. You guys, Mr. Selfish and Mr. Selfish's brother.
Did they ever say that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. One of the funniest things is for 100 years, I was the worst worker in the world. And then, in retrospect, people watch your work back, and people are I watched this match, and God, that was really a good match, and that was really a good match, and that was really a good match. I said, yeah, I didn't make $20 million because I was the shits.
Right.
just because a couple dirt sheet guys hated me because they wanted to bang me. What?
Yeah.
Speaking of making money, Kevin, I have two really important questions for you. One, have you had a chance to see the Las Vegas Live Magic Mike show yet? And two, when is Magic Mike Triple XL coming out? We need it.
I have not got a chance to see the Magic Mike live show, but I have snuck in and watched the Australian Thunder twice.
Nice.
Now.
Yeah.
Thunder from down under.
at Excalibur.
Any good dick, Kev?
Just straight to it.
I think that day they had the air turned on a little bit.
They had the understudy Dixon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So for that particular role for Magic Mike, was there any particular training involved, and do you still kind of do that? He's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kev. I don't mean to jump in on your question, but I remember when you were getting ready for that role. Holy crap!
Please tell.
You had to oil him up a bunch.
Shit, I mean, you got to realize, the second one I did, I think I was 55 or 6 years old when I shot that.
You look good.
You know,
Kudos.
and those, I mean, everybody's young. You know, like I'm giving 20 plus up to everybody on the cast, and you know, for me, it was I had to die like a bodybuilder. I had to die like a bodybuilder, not only to get to day one. Like, you know, I know how to die like a bodybuilder because I've done bodybuilding shows when I was younger. It's like I can get to, you know, you can get to a peak on that one day, but then to have to hold that for 10 or 11 weeks.
That's insane.
You know, that's insane. And then, you know, like for me, I drink a bottle of wine minimum every night. Like, you know, one bottle. I mean, it's for heart health.
It is, because you have a huge heart.
Yeah, I do. I give it a lot of love.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you ever have a chance to? Oh, sorry. Did you ever have a chance to drink with Andre?
No.
That's a bummer.
No. I heard he was legendary. I heard he could drink a case of wine.
So, so you were kind of mid-sentence as far as your training. So you dieted like a bodybuilder. Was there any like dance training or anything else involved?
Yeah, we danced. Like, I mean, for the first one, we had the first 2 weeks in LA was just dance rehearsal. It was really kind of funny because like when we shot the first scene we shot dance-wise was the military dance, the 4th of July when we were in camouflage. And so we went out there. We went through it. And Soderbergh, said, "Cut." He said, "Fuck Nash." He said, "You can do this." And I said, "Well, yeah, I've been rehearsing." He goes, "No." He said, "On the jumping jacks, just be apathetic. Don't jump. Just move your hands." He said, "Just go through the motions." And so many people like don't get that. Like they don't get the fact that. They're like, geez, like you can't dance. It's just like, no, do you not realize the storyline is that my guy's been there so long that like nobody knows like how to get rid of him.
That's what it was too.
Because, well, I mean, because when you look at like, and a lot of people just don't understand like film and like if Tarzan doesn't OD for the 50th time, then the kid doesn't get a break, and then we don't have a Magic Mike 1. There's no story. There's no plot. Me falling out puts the kid in the spot to have to dance that night. So when I read the script, I said, well, this is pretty pivotal as far as story arc. You know, I said, so yeah, this is kind of a cool role. Everybody else says, you can't dance. I'm like,
you pulled that. You pulled that passing out ODing stuff off pretty well, like you've done it before, Kev.
Yeah. What I mean, what I did was I watched some tapes of people like on YouTube that had passed out.
Yeah.
So
and I and you've.
I was never much of a pass out guy.
No, but you actually took care of me on more than one occasion when I did. So at least maybe that's how I looked when I passed out.
I think that card took pretty damn good care of each other.
Hey, you know that that time when you guys had to when we were in that diner in Kentucky and all that and the cops came and everything.
Yeah.
Do you know they put that they were going to put that on like the story time on WWE Network?
Really?
Yeah, they actually had it up. They actually had it up on the trailer. And I was like, and they took it down really quick. I'm not sure why.
So who told the story?
It was Paul. It was Paul. Hunter told the story.
Oh, I was going to say, one of you guys had to tell the story.
Yeah, but I was like, I was telling Paul, I'm like, oh man, you left all the good stuff out of that story. Because Kev, Paul was slapping the shit out of me, trying to wake me up, and Kev throws me in the shower. Tell him what you told me, Kev, while I was laying in the shower.
I don't remember.
About my hose.
Your hose is pathetic.
Yeah, your hose looks smaller than it's ever. I'm like, how do you know? I've been looking at my hose. I was completely out of it. Anyway.
And again,
it was like putting the fucking cat in the bathtub. You fought us like a son of a bitch, man. That's what saved you, man. Your adrenaline. You just. When we get you up, walk you up and down the hall, And then we bring you back in and be like, I want to lay down. Be like, get back in.
Yeah. I'm honestly like we're laughing about this, but like honestly, that saved my life, Kev. That legit saved my life. I'm pretty sure.
Well, but the thing was, I'll never forget it because I don't remember this or not, but like I sat on I took the chair in the room and I sat it like facing you.
Yeah.
Well, and I just watched you sleep because I didn't want you to stop breathing. So finally you woke up and you looked at me and said, thanks for saving my life, man. I said, no worries. And then I said, I'm going to go to bed. So I think I just, like, the rollaway was in that room, so I laid on the rollaway. And then, like, we got, like, 3 hours sleep and we had to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I get in the car and I'm packing the back of the van. And I get in there, you're fucking sound asleep, Scott's sound asleep, Sean's sound asleep, and fucking Hunter has been up all night. He's dozing off. I'm like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? I gotta drive.
But you're the wheel man. When didn't you drive? Any other time you wouldn't.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have it any other way.
I drove, and I remember saying to myself, like, I'm not fucking drinking tonight. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. And everybody had great matches. We all rocked in Indianapolis. It was like an afternoon show. Remember, because we couldn't get the van in Indianapolis, and underneath that Market Square Arena, I scratched the top of the van.
Yeah, we almost got stuck in the parking ramp, right?
Yeah.
It was like,
So the back, at the back, I just turned it in, like, who's going to see the top of the van, right?
Yeah.
But I remember we went across the street after we got out of there. There was a TGIF Fridays, and it was just like, I went to the bathroom. I came back and there was shots of Jack in front of everybody. I was just like, oh. Like, okay, well, okay, we're not drinking except for this one shot of the beer I'm going to drink to wash it down, and here we go.
Oh, Kev.
Here we go again.
When's the last time you had a shot of Jack? I like the whole thought of it makes my stomach turn now.
Mine just flipped. The smell of it is I don't think I've had actual liquor in years.
Ugh. We used to do this thing that Kurt Hennig started. Well, I'm sure somebody told him, but to make sure nobody dumped the shot over their shoulder, you'd have to gargle it. So you'd have a shot of Jack in your mouth, and you'd have to gargle it before you drank it. Oh, it was horrifying.
And we go, like, it would be 10 guys in a circle, and each guy would gargle it. Like, it was no, like, everybody gargle at the same time. Like, okay, you go gargle, go gargle, you go. So that way there, and then the next thing, I remember so many times when we were in that jet port, it'd be like the lights would turn on, all of a sudden you see either Yoko or Taker coming with a tray of like 60 shots on it. You'd be like, oh, God, there's like 8 of us.
Yeah.
Like,
8. Yeah,
geez,
do the math.
I don't think anyone's ever really talked about, could Yoko put it away? I imagine he could.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much everyone on the crew could.
700-pound man? I mean, geez, it's just like, he got drunk like 3 days later when it hit him. I mean, it was like,
Kev, did you ever work with Rodney?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, a ton.
That's what I thought. I mean,
the heat spot was always the same. I'd come off the ropes, go for the clothesline, he'd duck it and come back over, Samoa drop, boom, in the heat. Into
the nerve hold.
Yeah, I remember at one time we were working in Vancouver. Remember I was in Vancouver when Tommy Lee's like first wife was in the crowd.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I told him, I said she was in like the front row, and I'm like, man, I said, put me in the nerve hold. I said, face me towards her.
Yeah, she was really hot.
And then, oh yeah, and finally I was just like, I said, throw me outside. I crawl up to the railing. I said, I'm gonna send an agent to bring you back at intermission.
Jack Lanza.
Lanza came out. Got her, brought her back. Remember we went out and partied that night with those guys.
We did. Do you remember the mushrooms in the chocolate bars? Yeah.
Yeah, she had the mushrooms.
No, it was me. I went to the.
Oh, that's right. You got the mushrooms.
Yeah, I went out by myself, and I went to this blues club, and this guy had these chocolate chocolate with mushrooms in them, and so I brought some back to the room. And I don't know if you guys really believed that there were mushrooms in it until about half an hour later.
It was fudge, you know. It was just like fudge, and you're like,
yeah.
They said only eat one. We're like eating it like it's fudge.
Yeah. And then we're all tripping out. We'd go to this freaking. It was like some fire station turned into a gym.
Yeah, right next to it.
Yeah, I'm tripping out, laying in the sunbed, just tripping out on
I did the
mushrooms
same thing. I was laying in the sunbed. I had outer body experience. I was just like, I thought I was cooking myself. And I got out of the sunbed, and I looked in the mirror, and I was gray. I'm like, I don't think that's the right color for a sunbed.
So then we go, and we have to take a ferry, right, Kev?
Yeah.
We had to take a ferry to, I don't know, it's Prince Edward Island, whatever island that was.
Vancouver, I think it was Vancouver Island.
Yeah. And
You're still tripping?
I'm still, apparently, because I got it. Yeah.
Can I tell it?
Please do.
So we're in the part where we get out of the car, and we're waiting to get going, and me and Sean are sitting on the hood of the car with our backs against the windshield. And Sean looks over at me and says, "It's a fucking smooth ass ride, man." I said, "Dude, we're in the fucking parking lot." I said, "See that big boat up there?" I said, "That's where we're gonna pull in. That's where we'll be on the boat." Oh. No wonder it's so smooth. So then we get on the boat, and they've got like this cafeteria, and I watch Sean walk in, and he like, cause he's got like, and he was notorious for this. It'd be like, everybody like, it'd be breakfast time, it'd be like, what are you gonna have? I'll have egg whites, rye toast, orange juice, coffee. We get to Sean, it'd be like, I'm going to go ahead and have the beef stroganoff, a root beer, and a cappuccino. I'm like, what the
And a baked walleye.
yeah, baked walleye. But so we get inside, and Sean has this tray, and he's got like a slice of pizza, an apple, yogurt, a carton of milk, a diet soda, and he just has all this, and he just walks in, gets it, and just walks right by the register. He goes and sits down, and the lady goes, "Well," I said, "Whatever it is, I'll get it."
I
don't know what he had. I said, just estimate how much it was.
And then we finally get to the place where we're having the show, and Kev's in a lumberjack match versus Yoko. Speaking of which, it was Yoko. Yeah, it was on that loop. Of course, you worked with Yoko because my dumbass tripping balls still sitting on. I'm one of the lumberjacks, and I have a bag of popcorn. I thought it was a good idea. Just throw a bag of greasy ass buttery popcorn in the ring for them to slip all over.
Oh man.
Well, at least it was that Smith Hart's ring.
Oh,
and it was like the fucking thing was like a shower.
It was a tarpaulin.
Anyway. It was, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was like a nylon tarp. It was slippery as it was.
I remember I powerbombed Candido that night. I thought I killed him. It was one of those ones where I powerbombed because Sonny had been running her mouth, and she had heat, so everybody took it out on him. I gave him the powerbomb. It was one of those ones like I hit you in Manchester when your knees went on each side of your head.
I was blowing myself.
Stages. But
Kev looks at me.
Kev looks at me. That shower.
Kev folds me with the jackknife, and he looks down and goes, "You okay?" I'm just like, "Pin me." One time I'm working with Kev, and he does this thing where, like, I'm working the leg. Like, he goes down, I'm working the leg, and I do like a step over toe, and he shoves me off with his foot, and I go flying over the top rope, but I got my leg caught in the top rope and twisted up in it. And in front of everyone, Kev gets all worried for me, and he goes, "Get him out of there, man." Help him.
Come on, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Does the ref help get you out?
One time in Manchester, we were on first, and you did a dive, and like while you were in the air, I realized you were on that platform. Remember?
Yes.
I had to make like a Willie Mays catch on you, so we both didn't go over into the. I mean, it was like an 8-foot drop.
It was pretty far, yeah.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure it was the stupidest idea in the world to even do that. So.
I don't think we really. I mean, we were a hard act to follow when we went out when we went early. We had some good matches.
Absolutely, yeah. I saw one of those.
I watched one not too. Yeah, I remember it was on. Like somebody had one for a house show on Twitter.
Yeah, it was like somebody's camcorder footage. They snuck a camcorder into one of the house shows. We killed it.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
I was like, God, that was a good match.
So wait, you're wrestling on top of a platform?
Yeah.
And you dive out, and there's an 8-foot drop on the other end?
Well, I mean, it wasn't 8 foot, but it was like 4 or 5 easy, right, Kev?
It would have been enough that if we would have went, because there was a railing, so we would have went, because the drop was probably only 4 or 5, but there was probably a 4-foot railing.
Yeah.
So we would have went over the railing and then down.
What kind of dive do you do over there?
It was just a tope con hilo.
Oh.
Yeah.
You one-arm catch him?
Yeah, that's exactly how we did it. That's kind of exactly how you did it. And then instead of going backwards, he like did like a half turn and then like took a back bump like sideways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Well, Kevin, so I know we're kind of going back and forth here, but I just wanted to know, what is it like having worked in WCW and then going on to WWE and working with both Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon? Is there like a difference or any?
Well, to me, it's like I remember the first time I met Vince. They picked me up at LaGuardia, and they brought me out to his house. I knocked on the door, and it's like, you're at Vince's, mansion, and he opens the door, and it's like, at that time in my life, it was the equivalent of having George Steinbrenner open the door. I mean, it was just like, this is the guy. This is wrestling. And he's just like, hey, big man. He's just, handshake. He's got an Ico Pro like cut off rag top shirt on, and it was just, and it was, it would have been the difference would have been I was working for Vince McMahon. And he was the equivalent of if Eric would have been Ted Turner. That's what I mean. Like Vince McMahon was the WWE, and then Ted Turner was basically was TBS. So Eric Bischoff was an employee of. My checks came from Ted Turner. My checks didn't come from Eric Bischoff. So and Eric was one. I mean, Eric's a Detroit guy. I'm a Detroit guy. So we had a lot of common bonds, and Eric was, Eric wasn't afraid to get down there, and he liked to drink his beers, and Eric's a guy's guy. Vince is a guy's guy. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two.
So how soon after you joined WCW did everything come about for NWO?
It was actually Eric's idea. I mean, Eric pitched it to me when he came out to Scottsdale. I was living out there, and kind of pitched the idea. And I mean, I had remembered when they had done it in Japan, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it was effective, but it wasn't to what the NWO became. So I was just like, all I'm knowing is like I'm getting guaranteed money, and it's a lot.
And
so for the first time in my life, like I'm going to be able to budget my money because I know exactly what I have coming in.
Kev, we never talked about this, but did you have a relationship with Eric before you came to work for Vince?
No, he was actually. I had heat with him because I was trying to get out of my contract when I was in Vegas. He said, Matt, I think you got talent. He said, I'm going to take this place over. I think you should stick around. He said, and I was just like, yeah, well, fuck, right, you can take it over.
So how you know how'd you know you had heat with him over it? Did he tell you?
He told me. He said, I told him, I said, yeah, I'll stick around. And I went in there and got my release like the next day. But Then he just was one. He just told me so. I kind of was disappointed because he kind of said to my face, "You're staying." I said, "Dude, you're an announcer. It wasn't like you were the boss. It's one thing to lie to the boss. It's another thing to just I'm just trying to get out of the office alive. Right. Go use the fax machine down the hallway so I can, send my release to JJ."
JJ.
Well, you worked with a lot of promoters over your years. Recently, you worked with Teddy Hart as a promoter. I think you wrestled Brian Cage for his promotion. What was that experience like?
Teddy's one of a kind, man. No, one of a kind. I love him. I think he's talented as fuck too. I think you can make money with that guy. You can't make it at WWE because they've just got too many restrictions.
Yeah. Yeah, I live with Teddy down, and we worked together in Mexico, and it was challenging a lot of the time with him. But for me, I think it's worth having a guy like that around. That's that talented. And certain people can pull him in a little bit. He's still going to be out there, but
Yeah, he's way outside the box. But to me, it's just I think there's like brilliance and insanity there's always a fine line, and I think that he's like a Melinda on that motherfucker.
Oh yeah. So you worked with Brian Cage?
Yeah.
How'd that one go?
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Did you let him get his shit in?
Nobody gets their shit in on me. We start the match with a fucking knee to the gut. Work from underneath, brother.
Hey, how about the first time you got me with that knee to the gut from all the way across the ring when I started acting up in there? Remember that?
Yep.
Wow, you closed distance quick on that one, man. I can't remember what I was even. I think I might have did like a double bicep pose, like a dipshit. And I didn't
think
even.
You did the Karate Kid.
Oh, that's
thing.
what it was. The crane or something.
Yeah.
And as soon as I dropped my foot, boom, knee, and I went flying. I was like, oh my god.
Kevin, before we get out of here, the past few weeks we've been doing some tributes, and we wanted to get your memories of the late great Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
Let me think. I've had some one of them was I don't remember if anybody remembers this or not, but we were driving and we had a charter plane that landed it was like that fucking horrible hog wild thing, and they chartered us from Atlanta
to Rapid City.
Yeah, Rapid City, and then they put us on a bus and took us to the hotel. And Bobby was up front. Bobby was hammered, and he just promoted. This bus driver was driving like an ass, and Bobby just promoted the guy for 50 minutes.
Bobby,
to the point with the guy just wanted to cry.
Bobby didn't.
Bobby was funny, but Bobby could be mean, man. He could, he could be mean.
Didn't Bobby stay kind of knackered that whole trip because didn't he? Yeah. That's so.
Yeah, he thought that was the most asinine concept of just number one, giving a free show. Number two, in the middle of a match, people revving motorcycles.
That's the worst place that's the worst scenario for a live wrestling show I've ever seen. It was
my God!
awful.
Remember the first year, we dressed and they had
in those trailers
of semis. Yeah, trailers.
I mean, without
no
even
air conditioning, it was 105.
They didn't even have flat floors in them.
No, it was somebody's. It was almost like if you loved Thai Twinks, we're just gonna run Bangkok.
Thai Twinks.
What? Twink Wild.
Putting that in the press release.
Oh shit.
So whose concept was that then? Someone had to love motorcycles.
It was E.
Oh.
It was E.
So everything.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time, 90 guys who didn't even ride bikes, like some.
They took up bike rides. They bought new Harleys just for the trip, right?
Yeah,
or they rented them.
Like the only like Steiner and a couple like Robbie Steiner was actually
Boss
like
Man.
a biker, like
Boss Man.
There was a couple guys that actually had, like it's like I live in the Daytona Beach area, and like they have these bike weeks.
Yeah.
And you go down and you see all these like bikes, man. They're like $100,000 bikes. And you go look at them, they got like 11 miles on them. You're like, oh yeah, you're a biker.
Yeah. Hey, Kev.
Look at Rock.
Kev,
Yeah.
we don't want to like keep you all day or whatever, but I do want to let everyone have a last round here on question time.
Sure.
Well, I wanted to know why.
Make them good. Fuck.
Mine's gonna be super nerdy and about action figures because I'm an action figure nerd. Do you know why your Hasbro figure was never released? Probably not.
I think it was just I left right before. I think it was like I was the next one to come out.
Yeah, you were in the next series.
And I left. Here's one I got for you: the new Shawn Michaels Diesel Battle Pack. They took a picture of me. The picture that's on it of me has like that's when I had like the big full bouffant black hair, and they cut it to make me look like I have a mullet. Like they CGI'd me into a mullet, and yet the doll doesn't match. The doll has the long like full hair. The action figure, I guess I'm not allowed to say doll, but there'll always be dolls to me because that's what they are. But yeah, I just looked at that. I said, well, they just got to get a dig on me any chance they can. I heard they're actually going to release a Diesel mullet Intercontinental Champion doll.
That'd be
Sweet.
awesome.
Sweet.
Do you know if they're gonna make you in the retro series that they're putting out since they never released the Hasbro one?
I have no idea.
Why not, Kev?
It's always news. I don't know anything. I just.
Kev was the first person. Kev was the first of the boys to actually realize the mullets were out. Like, okay, yes, yes, he definitely was.
At what point?
Well, I was told that by Lene after the Vivid Girl.
I know. I wanted to let you say that.
She just says, "What's all that?" She said, "What's all you guys this fucking hockey haircuts?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You guys have hockey haircuts. Like, you guys have one length hair." I said, "She said, come on." And I remember she took me downstairs. We were at the Hilton, and took me downstairs to the barber shop. And she said, "See if you can how close you can make that." And I remember she cut. They kind of cut it short. Cut a lot of the length off it.
Yeah.
But then finally it grew out. It was like, all right, cool, I get it.
Yeah, by the time you became the champ, by the time you got the dime, you didn't have the mullet anymore.
No, I had just one length.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
And my last question to you is: the last time you were in WWE, you were set to face CM Punk, but the match never happened. Is there a reason why it didn't happen?
I don't know if they wanted it to happen. To me, it was to me when I came back. It felt so, because everything was like I'd never been there when it was like you have to this is your script and you have to follow it. And then so I get there and I'm reading his and he's burying me and I don't have any rebuttals. And I'm just trying to be because it's one of those situations, man. Paul's one of my best friends on earth. So anything that you do, like the old Kevin Nash would say, in my mind when I read that, because if you remember the scenario was I came down and stuck Punk. And then Del Rio came down and took the Money in the Bank and took his belt. So he comes out the next Monday and cuts this promo about laugh out loud. I heard you were dead. Click, click, click your knees. And I'm thinking to myself, So let me get this right. I just cost you the world title, and you're gonna do stand up here and bury me because I'm old. And the first thing in my mind was I was just to say, because there was a time he said you're the guy. He said it's not 1997 anymore. You're the guy they called Eddie Guerrero Vanilla Midget. I say whoa. Number one, thank God it's not 97. Because if it was 1997 right now, I said you'd be with the marks out in the crowd, not standing up here, because we didn't let the marks wrestle back then. Number two, I'm old. Okay, it was probably going to take me probably a minute and a half to get up there. So you got two options. You either go in the back. I'll give you three. You go in the back, call it a day. You wait till I get up there and say, I apologize, Mr. Nash. And then you go in the back. Or third, we're off script. Let's see what you got. And I would have liked to have seen what he would have done if I just would have went up there and just bear pawed him right in the side of the face. But Paul was the boss.
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that you were brought in as a heel in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
So, yeah.
People love you. They don't want to boo us.
They asked me to come back for one. They said, will you stick him at SummerSlam? I said, yeah. That's all I was supposed to do. I wasn't supposed to stick around. I wasn't supposed to go on. And then I ended up going on a European trip, and I run both. There's like an 8-day and a 7-day, and I do both. I switch buses and go on both tours. And I'm thinking like, oh, look, they're bringing me to be the seasoned guy. So the first night I get on the bus, and there's nothing but beer on the bus. I'm like, beer? Like, who? That's like, okay, like you guys are saying like you progressed, but like, I said, we don't have any red wine. So I told the bus driver, I said, like, find a wine store. And I went in and I just bought some Solo cups, and I bought 5 or 6 bottles of Screw Top Shiraz. And went back in, and next thing you know, it was like Ziggler says, can I get some of that? The Bella said, can I get some of that? And I think there was 1 or 2 other people that were drinking wine. So, then we ended up, it wasn't that long of a drive, maybe an hour and a half to the next town. And we were sitting up front, and we were just, I was telling stories. We were all talking shit, and then everybody got off the bus, and we just sat on the bus. And we continued until the wine was gone. And, I was like, I'm just thinking like, this is what they want. They want these guys to kind of get a feel for what it was like, before everybody had their own tour bus.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Like, I got heat. Like, Paul, like, the next set of TVs, like, 7 days later, goes, hey, he says, you're holding court. He says, you've got these kids staying up all night drinking. And I said, okay. I said, my bad. I said, I thought, you brought Sam Elliott in for Roadhouse for fucking some color, but.
No, I mean, do you disagree with that with that way of thinking, or is it just like, I mean, because I kind of understand the way of thinking there, Kev, but I mean, there has to be a balance. They got to be able to let loose as well, and that whole tour bus thing where everyone has their own bus. To me, I think that's hurt the camaraderie in the locker room.
Oh my God. I mean, to me, the number one thing that I always remembered was when we got, like, everybody watched everybody work.
Yep.
So then when you got in the car that night and you had 300 miles to drive, like, everybody, like, critiqued everybody's shit, and it was like, why? Like, nobody cared about stepping on toes, that don't ever, I watched that spot's a shit, it didn't work, don't do that spot. Well, what should I have done there? 3 guys who, how about this? How about this? How about this? And like we did that night after night after night. It was like we never really just talked nonsense. There were times we did.
Not much, Kev. I don't remember
No.
it. I don't remember it.
No, it was always, it was like I always equated that like like we were a band that was like, like going through the set list, going, man, like that didn't fucking work, and that didn't work, and that didn't work, and it was just, I don't know. I think that like that's like, what do you get on your bus and the bus driver like puts you over.
Wow. Yeah. It's not like that picture. To me, the greatest picture ever, right? Like all of us in the back of the bus right before for the last tour before off to WCW.
And again, that bus had probably been sitting back there for an hour and a half parked.
Probably. Yeah.
It was I don't know. I mean, I think that there were guys that loved the business. They just absolutely loved what they did and loved being a part of it. And just, it was just different. It was just, and another thing too, man, like that picture, like people weren't getting paid yet.
Right.
Like wasn't like anybody was getting like filthy rich doing that shit. That's like, and I don't think anybody is now.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but because I don't go around asking what the payoffs are now, but from what I gather, yeah, most folks.
Well, they're averaging. If you're averaging 3,000 people a night in the house shows, paydays can't be too high.
Yeah,
because we average that, and we know what our paydays were.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys something.
You'd be on top. You'd get $800.
Yeah, well, we could go out and once the crowd was all in, we could look out in the building and tell within probably $5,000 of what the house was. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's $80,000 house.
Kevin, we sidestepped it a little bit earlier, but Magic Mike XXL, what's up? Not gonna let it go.
There wasn't supposed to be a second one.
Yeah, so now there can be a third one.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, I won't say no.
Hey, Kev, but you just finished. You just finished something up, right? Something for Star Network or not Star Sky Network, European network.
Yeah, Living the Dream. It's an hour comedy. We did 6 episodes. It starts on Sky November the 2nd.
It's a comedy.
So I guess the show will start November the 2nd on Sky, which I think you can get on Amazon. I think Amazon's the way we can watch it.
What's the premise of the show?
Premise of the show is a couple with a sophomore and a senior. The girl's a senior, the son's a sophomore. They leave the UK. They buy a RV park in Kissimmee, Florida, sight unseen, to go live the American dream because they're just, they want the prosperity, and they get there and it's just it looks like a methamphetamine, park in Kissimmee, Florida, and I'm there with I'm like kind of a rednecky Second Amendment.
Gotcha.
I mean, I basically run it. I kind of what it basically is a British writer taking every stereotypical thing that they think would happen in a Kissimmee, Florida trailer park,
which probably does happen in a Kissimmee, Florida trailer park.
Right, but it's actually an RV park. So it's like, you can stay by the day and the night. So it's not really mobile homes. It's like my residence is a camouflage painted school bus.
Nice. So it starts on November 2nd. What else you got going on?
I got a movie called Tigerland that I'm going to be shooting. It's I play a football coach. This movie starts out where kids they're at a game, and the mom and dad are having a moment. The kids will go ahead, and they tell him to go get in the car, and he drops his little brother off, and it goes fucks off for a minute, comes back, and his brother's missing. Ends up that his little brother is found, and he's been killed like a year and a half, 2 years later, but he's missing for a while. And this kid's a prospect, a football prospect, and the mom leaves. They end up, the dad and the kid end up in a motel. Shit breaks down from there, and he ends up getting kind of thrown at me, and I become his coach / mentor, and kind of a heartfelt Friday Night Lights kind of a deal. So I got that coming up.
Right on. Sweet.
So
anything
I thought it was
else?
weird that there's several nude scenes, but
Yeah. With you?
I guess yeah, I guess
by
you
yourself?
gotta teach these kids right. Yeah. There's a diarrhea montage that's unbelievable.
Nash is also in a movie that I co-wrote that hasn't been released in America yet, but all you UK fans can check out Blue Line.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Look at you.
Yes. Blue Line.
You actually co-wrote that?
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Hey, Kev, thank you for coming on, man.
Sure, man.
I
Great
appreciate
talking.
it.
I can't wait. So I'll see you Friday.
Yeah. Well, Saturday morning. I'll be there Saturday morning.
Okay.
Flying in on the
All right.
red eye.
I'm
Sold
coming
out in
Friday.
Weatherford, Oklahoma.
Nice.
IW Revolution.
Sweet. All right, man. I love you, Kev.
Love you, buddy. I'll see you soon, man.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kevin.
Hi, Kev.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Sweet. So, do we take a break now and come back, or do we finish things off? I think we should take a break. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back here on X-Pac 1, 2, 3, 60.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. We want to let you know about my new show on SiriusXM Stars Channel 109. It's called Conversations with Maria, and it's live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go to conversationswithmaria.com for more info. Buzz you later.
All right. Third time I said that finally comes on. We're back. I guess we didn't really need to take that break, but I took one anyway. Because I had to put the baby Lou up on the table. Look how beautiful she is with her new dress. Well, it's not that new, but it's maybe the first time she's worn it.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're only listening to the podcast, you're missing out on a little prime Lula content.
Yeah. Lula was over huge this weekend up at Big Time Wrestling in San Jose area.
Nice.
Yeah, especially with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Has Kevin met her already?
Kevin, not yet.
Okay.
Actually, none of them have, but Kev's going to meet, everyone's going to meet baby Lula in Oklahoma this weekend.
We were talking
Yeah.
about Teddy earlier. Has Lula met any of Teddy's famous cats?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
And good thing.
Sean doesn't like Teddy's cat.
I don't.
situation.
No, I love that Teddy loves cats. I just don't love Teddy's way of handling my cats.
Got it.
You know, I had a 35-pound cat that Teddy thought would be a good idea to try to flip up in the air and catch, and I was pretty pissed off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's pretty bold for someone to just start throwing someone else's cat around.
yeah,
Can't
Teddy. I don't know, whatever. Anyways,
Teddy Hart.
yeah. So like real quick, we'll just get we'll talk about the things we always talk about now. You know, the pro wrestling tees, the this, the that, the other things. So go ahead, TK.
Saturday,
Yeah,
October
sorry.
14th, sold out in Weatherford, Oklahoma. Saturday, October 21st, Pro Wrestling Empire. Kevin Nash will be at both of these shows, so come say what's up to Sean and Kevin.
Yeah.
Sunday, October 22nd, Powerbomb TV is a live stream.
Remind me to cut a promo for them after this is done.
Note.
Keep going.
Something like that. Sunday, October 29th, Heavy on Wrestling in Duluth, Minnesota. And then the seminar, Monday, October 30th, at the Academy for Davari. And
You still don't
Ken
have the
Anderson.
fan HQ thing in there? I have at Eden Prairie.
At Eden Prairie?
Yeah.
No, we'll add that on there.
It's in the email I sent you, Jimbo.
Okay.
Okay. Your social.
No, follow me on Twitter at Jimbo News. I don't know if we have the picture, but I went to Comic-Con this weekend, and I was talking to
Yeah.
fans, handing out stickers, and I'm going to give a sticker to a guy in a DX jersey, and I was like, hey, man, here, check this out. And he's like, X-Pac, that's me. I'm X-Pac. So I took a piccure with X-Pac.
Yes.
Comic-Con. We'll post it, or I'll
Yeah,
tweet it.
I saw
was
it.
really cool.
The guy did a good job.
There it is.
Yeah.
You know what? That's
Oh.
I'm that makes you feel really good when 20 years later, however freaking long it's been now, people are doing that.
Yeah.
That doesn't suck to see things like that. It feels cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah. appreciate everyone that does it. Somebody like sent me a tweet last night saying, and I thought this was, some people probably get really pissed at this, but I thought it was kind of funny. They said tomorrow is transgender day or gender bender day at high school, and so this girl was going to be me.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was pretty funny.
All right, so
All right, cool.
go ahead, Denise.
By the way, that's an awesome picture, Jimbo. I love it. You guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram @_ Denise Salcedo, and you guys can also subscribe to me on YouTube, Denise Salcedo, on the search bar.
Sweet.
And you can find me on all social media at Sundown Motel. Check out uproxx.com, uproxx.com/pro-wrestling, and withspandex.com. And this week on Mansplaining, the With Spandex podcast, we've got the one and only Jack Swagger. And that just came out today. Really great conversation we had with him. He's such a nice guy. He's so, has everything in perspective, kind of like you. Great dude. We talked to him about a bunch of stuff, so please check that out.
And you can check out, make sure you follow AfterBuzz TV, our Twitter, The Real X-Pac, Facebook, X-Pac12360 Show, IG, X-Pac12360. Sign up for our newsletter on Facebook, iTunes, make sure it's 5 stars. Don't give anything less or don't bother. Also, all those comments on YouTube, we are reading it. Please keep it coming. Also, you can go on CelebVM/Sean Waltman to buy voicemails for celeb birthdays, unique videos, etc. And Pro Wrestling Tees/Sean Waltman to get Pro Wrestling Tees. And you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. I will be posting stuff. A lot of environmental, hurricane, earthquake stuff has been happening. I have places you can do donations, food, money, etc.
On that Celeb VM and the Pro Wrestling Tees, it's probably a good idea if you put a .com before the /Sean Waltman. Anyways, we'll see y'all right here next week on X-Pac12360.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Jimbo Frank and TK Trinidad, managing producer of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling Mark Donica, and the entire X-Pac12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube. Follow X-Pac on Twitter @TheRealXpac and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com. This has been a presentation of the AfterBuzz TV Network. Buzz you later!